Okay guys, from the thumbnail you can see I am sitting in nothing but a sea of green. I am feeling overwhelmed right now because these plants are crowding around me, but I'm doing it for you. So let's go. Let's see what we're doing. Hello plant community, thanks for tuning into this channel. My name is Pam and today you guys I'm showing you my entire philodendron collection. I've been wanting to do it for a while and I kind of was dreading it a little bit because I knew I had a lot of philodendrons. I did not realize, you guys, that I have slightly over 30 different ones, and it intimidates me a little bit. So this is going to be kind of a long video. I'll try my best to speed through some parts of it. So let's just jump right in. Now I'm going to show you guys some photos of some of my philodendrons, particularly the ones that's either trailing that I have in macrame, and I do not want to go through the hassle of trying to take them down and all of that. So I will be putting clips, and then of course the ones that's climbing up, some of them are just a little bit too tall or just too much, and I have already, who knows, just a plethora sitting around me so that I can give y'all both some photos as well as some live actual show and tell, so to speak. So I'm gonna try to flip it or mix it up so that it won't seem like stagnant, if that makes sense, stale, if that makes sense. So I'm going to start, and I have my phone right here because I needed to actually make the list of the ones that I'm going to be showing the picture of the actual plant. So I'm going to start off with one of my oldest and my most cherished plant out of my entire collection, for reasons that I've shared numerous of times, not really going into it today. But it's my heartleaf philodendron. If you could take a look at the photo, I have it actually trying to climb, I guess, this trellis design style that I actually have in my bedroom. I like so far, it is a fast grower. I like the way that it looks. I've had this plant for, oh my gosh, it's gonna actually be 6 years and a couple of more months, which is unbelievable. But this plant that you see, guys, started off with about 2, maybe 3 leaves, so to speak, and it's just grown vigorously. One of my most cherished plants. Now the other one, which is on the other side of that same trellis, you guys, is actually my neon philodendron. I used to have my golden pothos there, but it's full, but it's a slow grower. And I noticed that my philodendron, the neon one, was kind of growing a little bit more vigorously. And I guess the impatientness in me, I decided to swap it out. And I want to try to grow and merge both of the colors together. I think that it will create something very spectacular on the wall. Now, my next one, you guys, is actually another one of my favorite. All my plants are my favorite, but it's going to be the Philodendron micans. I actually have 2 of them. I have one hanging in my bedroom, and I have one hanging in my dining room. The photo that y'all looking at right now is the one that I have hanging in my dining room, and it's trailing so beautifully. I love Philodendron micans. It really does a beautiful play on autumn fall colors, in my personal opinion, with that copper tone and that slight different subtle shades of, I guess, that copper reddish color. I love the velvetiness of the leaves, so it's definitely one of my fabs and my favorites. Beside it, you guys, I have an actual photo of my Philodendron Brazil. I have 2 of them. Of course, y'all see the one that I have that's graciously crawling the wall right here, and I love it so much. This is one of my oldest one between the 2. I have another one, which you see in the photo, guys, is the one that's in my dining room, and it's just starting to trail and take off a little bit. I love the colors. I love the different play on the shades of green, and I love the fact that no pattern is the same on each leaf. It's like a fingerprint. All of them are different, so I think it adds more character and charm to the plant. Now, let's break it up a little bit, you guys, before we go into some more photos. I'm going to share with you this right here is my small specimen, my Philodendron ring. Oh, it was a dry leaf, I guess. Ring of Fire. I was so excited when I first got this plant. It was a little bit bigger than what you see it is as now, but when I got it, I was going through some challenges and troubles, and it caused me to investigate what was going on in the soil, which I'm glad I did, because the plant really did not have that much of a root system. So I re-rooted the plant, but then I think I did not have any patience. I was quick to pot it back up. I saw that it was declining again, and so I kind of got a little anxious or nervous. I took it back out, and I made sure that the root system was really strong, and I make sure that I have it like in an airy mix. So it's kind of, I guess it's growing. Um, I'm just really working with this one, because at first I was going to call it quits a little bit and just see if I can get me a bigger one. But, I really don't want to do that. I really want to give this an opportunity to grow. This has been on my wish list for quite some time. I'm glad I do have it. It's just been giving me a little bit of a struggle. But all in all, I still love it. I just can't wait for it to really mature and start producing out big, bright colors that I'm looking at for the Ring of Fire. Now my next one, you guys, I'm actually going to show you a picture. It's my pink princess, which is actually in here. It's just that because I have so many philodendrons actually on the floor, I did not want to bring it. And so I'm just showing you the photo of it. And I'm looking at it right now because it's in the corner. As you can see, it's growing up very nicely. The stem on it has gotten very thick. It's not very much pink in it. It has some subtleness of the pink, but I don't really care too much about that. I do love the dark colored leaves on the plant, so it's still a beautiful piece. But I did, if y'all been watching my videos, you know that I did recently, not too long ago, get another pink princess because I saw it online and I just couldn't say no with the price point as well as the variegation on it. And let me see, I'm actually going to show y'all that one because it's a smaller specimen. So as you can see, I haven't had it too long, you guys, so it's still in the process of acclimating to my home, which is the reason why you see this leaf turning a color, which is fine. But I really like the pink. This is the latest leaf, I think. It hasn't even hardened off yet, but that pink is so pretty. I had it actually in a grow light in my dining room, but because it was acclimating, and I think outside of this leaf, you guys, I think 2 other leaves kind of turned, and I was getting a little nervous, so I kind of brought it in here. Since I have my other pink princess that's growing in here and is doing well, I figured I might as well just bring it in here. But I really like it because of the marbling of the pink. I don't plan on potting it up together unless I can figure out a way to maybe put this plant on the other side of how I have the other one growing, because I do have it is just one stalk like this one is, and I don't know, I just think I want to leave it like this so I can do some form of comparison and contrast. Okay, my next philodendron is one that I've had outside, and I just not too long ago brought it back in, and this is my Variegation Verde. You guys, this is the leaf that actually provided me with that beautiful marbling that we're all looking after when it comes to the Variegation Verde. I do know it was because I put it outside and it got that bright light. I'm curious to see if this is going to just turn all green as I go through the winter season. I'm not too sure, but it does have another leaf right here, which I'm super excited. It's trying to unfurl, but it looks like it's going to still have that same marbling. And once again, you guys, this leaf was in the process of trying to come out when I transitioned it outside. As you can see right here, I have it on like this cocoa coir, and I'm going to have to leave it on here because the root system grew in. I don't even know if you're going to be able to see it. You see it right here? It grew in through here and it's attached itself real good. So I think To continuously grow this, I'm going to just leave it on this type of growing medium. But as you can see, it's sticking out these roots because it's just looking to grab onto something. But I really hope that I can maintain the color. I know a lot of you guys have been telling me that to maintain or keep this color has a lot to do with heat and light. So I'm gonna try my best to give it exactly that, and we'll just go from there. I have a baby plant that I want to show you guys. I brought it and it was already a very extreme small specimen, and this is my Philodendron, the white princess. It's still a small specimen. It's pretty, you guys, but I don't know. It's like it's two, I don't know, it seems like it's one stalk but different branches off. It's just so compact. I don't know. I heard that when it's compact like this, that this may have been grown through tissue culture. I'm not sure because the leaves are still small. It's just growing in like little bunches and things. It's pretty, as you can see with the variegation. I was just kind of hoping that maybe the leaves would size up, but you know, be honest with you guys, I'm okay with this. I don't really need another philodendron to really size up. Since I have over 30, you know, and these plants will get big over time, I'll probably just run out of space. So I don't even know if that would be good. So I'm okay with it. It's just like, you know, now I'm looking at the sapling thing, and I could have probably just waited, but I'm still happy with the plant. My next one, let's see. I'm going to show you a picture of it. This is my Philodendron anglustatum that I have growing so nicely. And I'm also, if y'all see on the photo, I have like sphagnum moss in a cup. I'm trying to do air layering. For some reason, the root is not, it's not rooting, which is fine. I think I must have felt it in my heart, and that was the reason why I decided to try to do the air layering. Even though for most of my philodendrons, when I do that, you know, the growth for my roots, it winds up being very, it'd be successful. But in this case, it's not, which is fine. I kind of just wanted to cut it and try to plant it back into that pot. I wanted to make it much fuller than what it is, but I love those beautiful leaves. It's very beautiful. Now, anglustatum. So let me show you guys my Philodendron subhastatum. These names are something else, ain't they? But it's one of my oldest philodendrons, you guys. And you know I'm a sucker for the red backs on here. And this is one of my plants that made a comeback because it actually just had one leaf. This was one of my first, I think, my very first equigenera purchases or something. And yeah, it was down to just one leaf, and then all of a sudden it finally like started taking off and giving me growth. So it's giving me all this beautiful leaves. I really like this plant. I like the look of it, the texture. I love, of course, like I said, the beautiful red backs. That's actually what initially drew me to this plant in the first place. But y'all comment below, let me know. I've heard some people say they've had challenges growing this plant. Let me know if you have this variety and if it's thriving under your conditions. Now my next plant, you guys, I'm going to show you is actually going to be a photo of my Burl marks. It was too long and too big to even try to pick up and bring it in here, but it just ate up a lot of space with already existing. But if, as you can see on the photo, y'all know why. This plant was a very small specimen when I got it, but I've never had an issue out of this plant. It's just been growing vigorously for me, and I love the way that it's growing. I love it so much till I got the actual variegated version, which is the one that I'm about to show y'all right now. And this is the variegated Burl marks. And I don't know, you know, the variegation is very subtle. It is not stable at all. If I knew that, I don't know if I would have got this plant. I still love it though, because I still love the leaves. I love Burl marks. They are fast growers. This thing has grown nonstop. It's just that unfortunately it's not really giving me a lot of variegation. And I do have it where it's getting very bright light. So I don't think it's a lighting issue. I think it's just one of those cases where it's part of the genetics of the plant, and it's okay. I'm still going to leave this separated. I would never probably combine this with the other plant because, like I said, they just grow so wild. And look at it, it's still gorgeous, you know? It's just that when you already have one of the all green variety, it is a little disappointing, to be honest, when you see nothing but green leaves. But nothing against the plant per se. It's just, you know, it's a plant. I love it. Now, my next one, you want to see a picture of my painted lady. This one does not look very painted at all, and I know it's because it's not getting a lot of light. I had it initially in my dining room where it was several feet away from a grow light and several feet away from any form of window. So I already anticipated and accepted the fact that the leaves were going to be just a green. But I moved it, and I moved it a little bit closer to a grow light now, and that's why you see the top of the leaves kind of like looking a little painted or some form of color. I think what I'm going to do next growing season, that probably will be a plant that I want to put outside just to see if I can encourage more of that speckling marble look that painted ladies are known for. Now I'm about to show you something where you can get another philodendron that's kind of like across from the painted lady, and it can easily get confusing of the actual plant variety, with the exception of this plant stems is not pink. And this is the Philodendron Gold Calkin. I really love this plant, you guys. In the very beginning of my channel, I believe this was a plant unboxing that I did about a year or so ago. It was actually a free plant purchase, so I didn't pay anything for this plant through Plant Arena. And at the time, I thought it was a free painted lady, but come to find out it was not, which is fine. I'm not even mad because I really love the color of this green. Is absolutely beautiful. It's like three stalks in here? So there's 3 plants actually in here, and it's been growing nicely. I just recently, this growing season, brought it in here. I had this one actually growing in my bedroom. It was growing, but what I noticed is it was having difficulty actually unfurling its leaves, and so I just made a conscious decision to bring it in here. And when I did do that, it did start opening up more leaves, and it started growing a little bit more. But I really love the elongated leaves. Look at that. That's very beautiful, healthy, and shiny. And the leaves are a little bit thicker than what you would categorize a traditional philodendron. But I really like this gold caulk and this very beautiful plant. My next plant, you guys, is actually going to be a photo. It's a neon plant, and that will be my golden goddess one. This is one of my very first part of my beginning collection. I've had this plant for about, I want to say almost 2 years, if not 2 years, and it's just been growing nonstop. That's another plant that I have not experienced any issues with as far as pests or anything like that. At first I had separated the plant, and then I saw how nicely it was growing, and I wanted it to look a little bit fuller, so I potted them back up together, and I have it growing up this cocoa coir pole. And I mean, it's just getting medium indirect light, and it's loving life. And when the weather breaks, I take it outside and spray it down with water. I just haven't had any problems with this plant. I love the elongated leaves, as well as the light neon color that the new leaves give, and the darker form of a neon as the leaf matures. Very beautiful contrast of different shades of green, and I really appreciate that in a plant. My next one, trying to make sure I show you all. This is my philodendron. Is it the princess? I don't know if it's the green princess or philodendron Mia, or if Mia and the green princess is one and the same. You know how plants have multiple names. But anyway, I've had this plant for about a year. a little over, actually a little over a year. And this is another plant, you guys. I love it. I love this plant. The reason why, look how it looks. Is first of all, it's wobbly. I have it's two plants in here, and it's just grown nonstop. But this is another one that has like it's a thick feel, like leathery like feel to the leaves. It's very compact. It's just been growing so nicely for me. It's like a rosette style of a philodendron, so it doesn't give me any issues. It just has those little spots that philodendrons are known for getting from time to time, but I don't really mind the spots. It's okay. But I really do love this plant. Very beautiful, very gorgeous. Now, speaking of plants with spots, now that I brought that up, I want to share with you one of my very favorite plants. And I don't know, y'all gonna count how many times I say favorite meter. But it is my jungle boogie philodendron, you guys. I love this plant. This plant provides me with that beautiful funkiness of the tropical feel. I love the fact that it is a rosette style of growing. This plant too does have a lot of those little dots. I know some jungle boogies do have it. I'm not quite sure why. I'm trying to actually figure that out, you guys. But I love how when the new leaves come in, it comes in with like a dark green copper tone, and then it turns into a different shade of green. But look at that, you guys. Very beautiful. I really love this plant. Don't have any problems out of it or anything like that. Next plant I'm going to show you is actually a photo, and then I'm showing you an actual pic. It's in here. It's right here actually, which is crazy. I didn't realize the camera picked it up, but still want to show you a photo so you can see how full it is at the bottom. And this is my red emerald philodendron. I love this plant to death, you guys. I remember when I got it, when I first got this plant, that the plant probably was maybe a foot and a half tall, and it's just been growing vigorously. It grew all the way up to the ceiling in the growing season, and I had to wind up doing a top cutting. And as y'all can see from the way the plants are at the bottom, it's really taking off. I didn't have any room in the bottom of that pot to actually put the top cutting. I did air layering, and the roots really grew vigorously. And so instead of me putting it back in that pot, and since I knew it was a top cutting, I wound up making a separate plant of it, and it's right here. And this one is actually, look at this, you guys. They're beautiful. It's beautiful. This is the top cutting. Can you believe it? This is the top cutting of this plant over there. It is gorgeous, and it has been growing, you guys, since I've actually chopped it off. I want to say starting right here on up has been the new growth. So I've had, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. It has another leaf trying to come out, but guys, look at this. This was, like I said, this was actually up against the ceiling, so I had to wind up cutting it. And I don't know which one I actually like the most. This one is actually inside my home, and this one stays out here. And it's getting light. Majority of the light source for this plant has been my Sansi light, you guys, and it's just been loving it. I got it in this pink pot. Look at that. It's beautiful. I really love, like, here I go, one of my favorite plants. All right. Now, I'm about to show you. I'm going to actually have to get up for this one, you guys. So this one, dang, this got some weight to it, or it's just too far away. But this one is my Philodendron oxypopense. If y'all remember, this thing was growing tall. I had it in here as well. It was growing to the ceiling numerous times. I kept chopping, propping, and chopping and propping. But then I moved it. I moved it from over here, and I put it all the way over there, and it kind of like declined. And I had, well, not, yeah, it declined. It was kind of like some of the leaves, like, was doing this. Was turning, and I wound up having to pull some leaves off, like this one right here. I had to pull some leaves off, and the vines were sparse in between. The internodes became wider and wider where I would have one leaf. I didn't like the way that it looked, so I did a hard chop and just chopped. I saved what I could, I propagated what I could, and I kind of just put it back in the pot. And believe it or not, I kind of like this the way it looked, because remember my goal was to actually just cover the whole stick. I had a stick in here, not this, with nothing but the plant. I just wanted to cover it up. And right now, the way it's doing, it's actually doing that a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do, you guys, is if it grows up to the top of here, I may just call it quits with the top of here and just cut it and try to put it back into the pot, because I do know that over time, the leaves do start going through changes, and some leaves do, I'm looking at it, do die back or fall off for whatever reason. I don't know, or they dry up or something. Just looking at these leaves, but I still love this plant. I probably need to put this up, but look at that. I just love it. I love the elongatedness of the leaves. It's not that long, but it reminds me of Atabatpuense. I guess a little bit smaller baby version of it. I guess that's probably why I like this plant so much, because I really kind of like want to get that plant as well and add it to my collection, but I don't even know now, considering I see all these philos. Okay. Ooh, this philodendron, you guys, I had outside. This is my rosy ocataphyllum. It's looking pretty good. I brought it in the house from outside. I had it in the sunroom for a while, and I had it sitting on one of my countertops, and it was getting some morning light, but I think the light was becoming a little bit too intense for it because it started burning the leaves. So I kind of took it back inside my home, and now it's getting like just the fancy light type of thing. It seems to be doing pretty okay. It has new growth that's trying to actually come out right here. I don't know if you can see that little thing right there. But I can't seem to get it past just these number of leaves. To be honest with you, they always tend to die off or something as one leaf comes in. And I mean, it's okay. I don't really mind it too much. I do love the shape of the leaves. One thing about this Rosio cataphyllum, it can get spider mites very quickly. So I am very aggressive. I try my best to aggressively stay on top of making sure the leaves and things are washed and cleaned and sprayed with neem oil from time to time. Just so that I can keep that stuff at bay, because I really do love this plant. It's just, I've been on a roller coaster ride with it, but it's still a beautiful plant nonetheless. Sorry, getting thirsty. A lot of talking. Okay, so really quick, I'm going to show you another philodendron, you guys, that I not too long ago had. So this is it's been just recently added into my collection. I may have had this plant for 3 months, so-ish, or whatever. And this is my Philodendron pastizanum. I don't know if this is the silver one or not, you guys. I'm assuming that it is, because it has the silverness. I know pastizanum, silver, sometimes the silver could be a little bit more pronounced. But guys, I love the leaf. The leaves are, even though the leaves look kind of big, the leaves are, I guess, a little like thin in some areas but thick in others. It's hard for me to describe. The texture is different. I love the thick leaves. It's a little down because I did not too long ago watered this plant. I say about an hour or so before I even did this video, so it's not kind of bounced back up yet, and I guess because we're kind of not in the traditional growing season, it slowed up a little bit, but it is new growth right here. Just nothing has happened. So I think it could be just going to sleep. I think this is another plant that could be susceptible to actually getting some kind of pest. So I've been also keeping an eye on with that. And I also had sprayed this plant down, but I didn't give it no neem oil, so I may need to actually do that as well. But I really like this plant. Y'all comment below and let me know if y'all have this plant, and do it grow vigorously like stuff such as the gloriosum. Now, speaking of the gloriosum, I'm glad I brought it up. That will be my next featured plant right here, you guys. You can see it in the video right here. It was just too big of a plant and getting too long, you guys. I just can't bring it in here to show you, unfortunately. I'm sorry about that. But I love this plant. I absolutely love this plant. It has come from the brink of death. It has survived. It has grown and it has thrived, you guys. It's beautiful. It's actually one of my focal pieces that I designed it to be my focal piece actually in my living room. And where you see it sitting is like I'm sitting on a table right by the door or whatever the case is, and it's getting beautiful lighting, and I hope that I am able to maintain that plant. I absolutely love it. I actually chopped it because it grew past the long planter that I had, and so I took a chance. I chopped it, you guys, and you know, since I chopped it, the last leaf, new growth is trying to come out, so I know that it's okay, and I feel relieved because I was like I didn't know if I should did it, but you know, I bit the bullet. I wound up doing it because I needed to make space and try to redirect it to, you know, grow, because it is a crawler. It takes up a lot of space, but beautiful plant. My next one, this plant I keep in my bedroom, and I think I showed this plant. I think it wound up being one of my top favorites for a month or something like that. And this is the silver streak philodendron. You guys, it was, when I showed it to you, it was trailing down a little bit longer. Just one trail though, and I told you at that time that I featured the plant on my favorite plant list because I had planned on cutting the trail, which I did, and right now it rooted, and I have all the cuttings actually put in a little like 2-inch pot, and it's growing underneath of one of my grow lights because I want to try to get the roots to be a little bit more well developed even in the soil. And I think what I plan on doing, you guys, actually is next growing season is probably just pop it up right up in here because I want it to be really full. Like I said, this plant grows in my bedroom. It's not really getting a whole lot of light, but at the same time it has definitely grown. I love the silver streak part. It does remind me of the Brazil in the sense of the pattern, as well as each leaf has a different pattern to it. No leaf is the same. I really respect and appreciate that. This philodendron right here has been one of the ones on my wish list. It has not been growing for me yet. I think I had this plant for, I don't know, to be honest with you guys, I don't know how long I've had this plant. I want to say maybe 4 months, give or take. It definitely hasn't been a year yet. But anyway, this was one of the plants that I had on my wish list. I'm still glad that I have it though. And that's the Philodendron tortum. And if y'all remember this thing, I had it in like a cement type of pot planter, and I loved the look of it at first, and then I decided to go ahead and just change it out. I put it in this one. I don't know, for me, I just think it fits the pot a little bit more, and I keep visualizing that when it starts to grow up, it really would look very good in this pot. So I just saw the future vibe of the plant, and I wound up just putting it in here. But I think I got an excellent deal for this plant for the size, because these philodendron tortums, you guys, is not cheap, and the price that I've been seeing for like little cuttings like this, I think the price that people have been asking for one cutting I got for this whole plant. So just love that vibe. So cool. So freaking cool. Just looking on my phone real quick, you guys. I just want to make sure I'm covering all of the plants that's in the photos. Looks like I did in fact cover all the ones in the photos. So moving forward, it's just pretty much everything else that I'm showing you. So let's see. Okay. So my next one, I just recently put this directly underneath of a grow light because I want to see what it's going to do during the fall and winter. And this is my Philodendron Florida Green. I love this plant very much. It was taller than this, but I actually cut it because I wanted it to be a little bit more fuller in the pot. So I cut and took probably maybe 3 little cuttings or something, and I did put them right here, this leaf and this leaf right here. And there is new growth trying to come out of, you're not gonna really see it, the pot right here. And there's another little stalk somewhere in here, but look at this little baby leaf right here. Isn't that cute? Can you see that? I really love the shape of the leaves. You know, I love pointy textures and things like that. So now, like I said, I have it underneath of my Sancy light, and I think that it's really gonna start taking off. Beautiful plant nonetheless. Now, speaking of the plants with the points, let me show you guys another one of my favorites. And this is my Philodendron, the Glad Hands, you guys. Glad Hands, and I am so glad that I got this plant. It is, look at that. Can't tell me that this does not give you tropical vibes, sitting beside the beach, dipping your toes in cold water and drinking your favorite cool beverage. Checks off all the boxes. I love the funkiness, the way that it's growing. I had to eventually put it on a bamboo stake because it was just growing so wild, and the reach was becoming a little bit too wide where it was taking up a lot of space. So I decided to go ahead and hold it, but it's still growing vigorously, you guys. Look at that. It's like 2 leaves actually in one. You see that? So as soon as one unfurls, it's going to be another one right there. I have another one down here that's trying to unfurl. So this thing has really been growing for me non-stop. And I mean, look at that. Which, by the way, you guys, now that I think about it, if you're interested in buying this plant, they do have this plant on the plant farm. My link is in my bio, but I will also try to put it in the description below. Please click on that link and you can do your plant shopping there to get all your plant favorites. And if you do decide to buy a plant or two from that, click from my link. It will help support my channel. So thanks again in advance, but I just wanted to share that with you since we was talking about this beauty. But beautiful plant. My next one is one of my oldest ones, but I don't know. It's one of my oldest, and I'm just gonna show y'all and talk a little bit about it. And it's my silver sword Philodendron. And guys, look. Okay, now when I had this plant, it grew so nicely tall up, and all the leaves was actually looking this size. What happened? The stems started getting big gaps. It's something about big gap. I didn't like that big gap look, and I wound up actually I chopped it and I propagated it, and I actually gave a few away to friends and some co-workers as well. And then I tried to propagate my own. I have one that I'm trying to propagate. It's not rooting at all, and the leaf is taking a decline. I'm trying to wait as long as I can before I call it quits and just throw it in the trash. But I've also propagated it and put some in the back into here, but unfortunately it's not giving me the large leaves like this right here. So it's giving me leaves, but they're not nowhere near as mature, which is weird. I was kind of hoping that if I chopped it, that it would promote, you know, bigger growth. But I mean, it's okay. I still love that matte color of the leaves. And it's been doing a lot of this lately with the leaves just turning yellow. So I'm thinking for me with this plant, it must be something going on with me and my watering regimen with the plant, because I've taken a look just to make sure there's no pest issues. I'm just trying to figure out why it's giving me these tiny leaves. I do know that sometimes they say it's because of the light. I did initially have this plant in this sunroom, but it was becoming a little bit too wide, as you can see with how wide the stem is. It was just taking up too much space, and it was making it difficult to move around in here without jeopardizing actually breaking these leaves off. So I took it out of here and put it inside my house, and that's when it kind of like went down a little bit. So I know that it's probably a lighting issue as to why the leaves aren't as big, but I still love the beautiful silverness of the leaves, the silvery bluish hue to it. If you're still here, thank you. We're winding down, you guys. We are winding down, and I just wanted to make sure that I covered all of the plants. So this is another one, you guys. I put this one outside. I'm so glad I did. This is my Philodendron St. Martinis. It's just two leaves, or basically two big leaves and then two little leaves. But these two big leaves are the leaves that's grown out when it was outside. I cut this plant way back on the top part. It's still in water. It's been that way for months, you guys. That thing is not rooted yet. I don't know what the heck is going on. So when I cut it, it literally just had, I believe, like the baby leaves, and then one leaf that finally kind of like just died off when I took it outside. So it didn't have anything going on. And then I need to give this some water too. Didn't have anything going on. I could tell the soil is dry and the leaves feel very thin to me. So I'll give it a good drink when we get finished here. But the leaf dropped off, and then it just gave me these leaves. So I really like the way that it looks. I have the top cutting has that big horse head look to it that we all like. So I really wanted that thing to root, but it looks like it's not. So I think what I'm gonna try to do is actually just do multiple chops of it and then try to just put it in water, because I think I just cut one vine, if memory serves me correct. I just cut one vine of it and just put it in water. But yeah, because I wanted to put it back in this pot, because look, it's just so beautiful to me. Look at the shape of the leaves. Stunningly beautiful. I'm so glad. And I got it, brought it in here, and now it's sitting on one of my stands in here in the sunroom. And it's loving life. We have a oldie but goodie, an underrated plant in my personal opinion that people are not talking about. It came when it came on the scene, and it went just as fast when it came on the scene. Like I said, I don't know why, but I still love this plant. Hopefully some of you in plant world still do too. This is my Philodendron Birkin. I don't know why people are not loving this plant. I don't know if people are thinking that this plant is plain. I think it's actually beautiful though. First of all, the leaves are very thick, and the top part of it feels really leathery. The texture, you could feel the actual lines of the white cream that's going into the leaf. It's like, it feels like it's actually cut into the leaf, and you can feel the ridges of that, which I think is pretty cool. You can kind of like get some form of relaxation just from the texture. It is growing. I know that the key for me with this plant, as far as if I want to bring beautiful variegation in it, I have to give this plant a little bit more light. It's not getting as much light. It's very like a medium to low light situation. I know when I first brought this plant here, I've had this plant, it will be 3 years and a couple of months. It was like, I brought this plant like when it was like the craze, and I saw it at a very reasonable price, and I said, okay, I'm not going to be able to find another one at the price, and so I just wound up getting it. And when I had it actually hanging in here, the variegation on here was a little bit more, way more pronounced than it is now. But I mean, guys, it's still beautiful to me. I really love the way that the white lines are in the plant. And this is the new growth right here, so it's still growing. It's just not giving me big leaves, but I don't even care because I really do like it. It's been in this plant too, this pot, for I don't know, at least 2 years, 2 to 3 years. So pretty cool. I love it. when you have these philodendrons with these big petioles, long petioles, big leaves, it's kind of hard to pick it up so I can out of the crowd. So this one right here, you guys, is my Philodendron mayoi or Tahiti. I think it's different names for the plant. Guys, I love this plant. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. It's so pretty. I don't know if this leaf right here is going to eventually just turn all the way yellow and just die off. I don't know. But I'm not cutting it until it does just that, or if it's just doing something funky with the color. I really don't know. But guys, look. It just trips me out, but you see up at the top how the leaves are smaller now, unless they plan on getting a little bit bigger. I don't know. Be honest with you guys, I would really love that the whole plant looked like this, but if I just got just this size, it's a pretty good size. I wouldn't be mad at it if it just keeps growing, you know, continuously growing up. And I love the vibe of that it gives in this particular pot. It didn't come in this. It's actually up potted it about a month or so ago because I wanted to keep an eye on the roots, and I noticed I had to water it more, so I put it in a clear pot. And I mean, you can see that line, see a little bit of the root system in there, but it seems to be loving life. Pretty. Okay, so I'm about to show you guys the last and final philodendron, and y'all may have watched me do a little mini unboxing of this plant. I had to end it with this plant because the last philodendron that I literally added to my collection, and it's just so beautiful, you guys. I lucked up on this plant. Finally got it. One of my wish list plants, you guys. Philodendron biliaceae. And I'm so glad I waited. Look, you guys. Would you look? Take a look at this plant. Oh, this is the latest leaf that grew. And let's see. Just to give you some form of a comparison to my face. This thing is, look at my hand. See my hand? Thing is huge. It hasn't hardened off yet. It's still soft. This thing is heavy, but I had to put it. I'm gonna show you this this plant I just got not too long ago, you guys. I brought it from I think Walmart, and you know, at the end of the year, the end of the season, how they have sales. So this one was really marked down, and I think this was the last one. It's so funny too, you guys. Just really quick. I saw this plant early. I saw this planter earlier on, like in the summertime. But I think the price that they want, I was like, I'm not spending that kind of money on a pot. So I said, okay, if it's meant, if it's meant for me, then, you know, I'll be able to get it at another time. And lo and behold, I guess my father up above said that it was meant for me because it was a extreme low markdown. So I think this planter was initially, I think they were trying to sell it for like 25, 26, between 25 and 30 bucks. And I think I got it for probably like $6 or something. I can't even remember, but I had to get it. And I'm so glad I did. I potted it up in here. I said I was going to wait for the perfect plant, and this is the perfect plant. I'm so excited. I got this plant, you guys. It's starting to settle in my home. I have it actually sitting on the same spot of where my gloriosum is. From the photo, if y'all can see, so it's getting beautiful light from my Sansi light. But guys, this plant was only 50 bucks. Can you believe that? Seriously, can you believe that? Because I'm telling you guys, when I was on Etsy, I seen so many short, like 2 leaves. I'm serious, 2 leaf cuttings for like 30 bucks, 40 bucks. And I just thought that I wasn't gonna even get one. And I came across a website. What's the name of it? I think it's called Plant Love for Me, you guys. Plant Love for Me. Tell them Pam from Full of Foliage sent you. I think they still have these plants in this size for this price. Guys, what in the world? What? Seriously, what in the world? Look at the leaves. Oh my gosh. This was a steal. Absolutely steal. So glad I got this. Super excited. And it's just, oh man, it's just, I'm getting flashbacks from when I first opened it up out of the box and how surprised I was from the size. Now, granted, they honored the photo. When I saw the photo, they shows a photo of it along with, what you call it? A ruler so that you can see the length. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Did not, I'm thinking maybe I'll get something similar, but not exactly to T. And even with that photo, I just think that this one just did it even. Guys, god darn, look at I hope I can keep this plant growing. And I hope that I can help bring out the beautiful orange petioles. It's just a dream come true for me. I can't sing worth a darn, and I can't hold a tune, but that just goes to show how much joy plants bring to me. So, ending this video on a good note actually with this Bilietiae. So if you hung out as long as you have, just send me something through the chat below. Just say something like, way to go, Billy. That lets me know that you guys hung in and watched this entire video. If that's the case, thank you so much, you guys. So yeah, this wraps up this long video. Keep in mind, if you love foliage as much as I do, and you love listening to planty things, you know what to do. If you have not yet, shame on you, but there's still time for you to do so. Subscribe, hit the subscribe button, and also hit your notifications so that you'll be aware when I post out a video for your beautiful plant people. Push those thumbs up, keep them going up, you guys. It's been helping my channel. It's been helping me reach other people, and so that we can grow this plant community together. Enjoy your day wherever you are in the world, and until next time, guys, much love. Bye.